Okay, so driving an interesting car today. This is a C4 with a tune. That is a standard Carrera, the 370 horsepower, 3-litre turbo, the base Carrera, with a tuned engine, the Fab Speed tune, which is supposed to be about 100 horsepower, which would put this car at a whopping 470 horsepower, not 370. So of course, what do we need to do? We need to drag race it against an S model, which of course is standard with 420 horsepower, and see whether it really does have more power than an S model. What I noticed straight away is that when you look at the boost gauge here, normally a stock Carrera, base Carrera, would get 10 or 11 PSI on a hot day like today. This car having no trouble hitting 15 PSI straight away. And of course, because it's got that very responsive base engine, it does it instantly. It's pretty cool. It is very annoying how this car tells me the speed limit every time I do 90 miles an hour. So theoretically, this should have 470 plus horsepower, so more powerful than a GTS model. And what I noticed about the tuning companies is they do seem to get the most horsepower out of the base engine, the 370 horsepower engine, and then the S engines, they get a little less, say 80 horsepower out of those, and then the GTS engine, they get even less, about 60 horsepower out of those. So this base 370 horsepower is certainly the engine to tune. And what's nice about these engines, of course, is how responsive they are. I mean, like a naturally aspirated engine in many ways. So the car we're going to do a drag race with is my friend Kevin's C4S. So the S model of this car with 420 horsepower. And I'm using his car because his car has PDK, unlike my car, which is a manual transmission. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap into Kevin's car, the stock 4S. I'm going to have the owner of this car drive his car, and we'll do a little drag race and find out for sure whether or not this 100 horsepower tune is as advertised. I suspect it is. Okay, so I've swapped back into Kevin's car. This is the stock C4S against the tuned C4. Pop it in Sport Plus mode. Okay, slow down a little bit, slow down. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. It is definitely faster. Is it 50 horsepower faster? I don't think so. Seems like it's about the same as a GTS perhaps. Okay, 3, okay, beside each other, 3, 2, 1, go. Got a little bit of a jump on him that time. It's pretty even. When it's a more even start like that. Yeah, that was interesting. You've still got more power, but it's not like it's 50 horsepower more, I think. Actually, while we've got this car, I wanted to show you another interesting option this car's got, which you don't see very often on the 911s. It has the ACC, which is the active cruise control. Let me bring it up here. You can spot the cars with the active cruise control because it's got that eye on the front, the eye of Mordor on the front. And it gives you an extra display option here in the multifunction display. ACC off, I'll turn that on, and it shows a little picture of a car. And with the little toggles here, you can move the car closer or further away. So if I get in behind another car, or in this case a truck, and turn it on, so I turn it on, and then I set the maximum speed that I want this car to be able to do. So in this case I'll say you can go as fast as 95 miles an hour, but right now we're doing 60 miles an hour behind the truck and matching the speed of the truck. And that's what these two little arrows show. If I want to get in closer to the truck, I can just move the toggle down and I get in a little closer, and if the truck brakes, I'll brake right up to emergency braking. That is, if the truck or any car in front of me hits the anchors, this car will also hit the anchors without me touching anything. The ACC is an incredible bit of technology. Here we go, so he's slowing down, I'm slowing down, and I'm going to try and trick it here by switching lanes and see if I can fool it. this car beside me gets out of the way. So now I'm going to switch lanes, and the car that's in front of me is going a little faster, so it speeds up. Generally, Porsche dealers try and convince you not to get this option because this is a sports car, why would you want active cruise control? But of course, when you're driving on a highway, it doesn't matter that it's a sports car. The active cruise control is a really cool feature. I loved it in my old car. I can't have it in my car because it's not compatible currently with the Porsche manual transmissions, but those of you getting a PDK or automatic transmission in a Porsche should really consider the ACC. It is a really cool feature. It really takes the pressure off driving on highways. You just set a speed and distance to the car in front of you, and the car will just hold that distance, even right down to stopping. If you actually come to a stop in traffic, it makes you touch the gas in order to start off again. Otherwise, you're pretty much free to take your foot off the pedals and let the car do the distance to the car in front of you, right? Like right now, we're slowing down because of heavy traffic, and the car's just slowing down and keeping a timed distance between me and the front of the car in front of me. So as we get slower, we get a little closer, and as we get faster, we get a little bit further away. It's very cool technology.